This is censorship gone wrong. When you have big tech platforms deciding what's best or what should be said on their platform, regardless of whether it's free speech or not, according to the First Amendment. Of course, they're a private entity. They don't have to do that if they don't want to. And like I said, they should, but they don't have to. But they really should. But regardless, this is what happens when they control the narrative. Actually, when the narrative comes back around and bite them in their ass, they have to let us talk about what's going on. And that's exactly what we see right now. With all the lab leak theory coming out, which I knew for a fact. I mean, just a hunch, weird fuzzy feeling going down my leg or up my back. I knew that this was not just, out of the blue, some sort of virus come out of the woodwork. It starts infecting the world. There was too much information coming out about that Wuhan lab that lends credence to it being manufactured, or not even manufactured from whole cloth, just basically taken like the virus itself is taken and then messed with, added this, taken away this, added that, taken away that. But, as far as we know, that may have happened. May have happened. I don't see why it wouldn't. It makes sense. I knew this from, early on, that usually when viruses just pop out of nowhere, like the Spanish flu, it takes time for it to sort of run through the population. Because it took the Spanish flu at least 2-3 years, I think, if I remember correctly, reading about it, and this has been a while since I read about it. But it took a while for it to actually infect the rest of the world. Now what you're going to say is like, wow, this virus is different because we're a more global society. We get to travel between different countries, within hours. Get it. But that doesn't mean that the United States or the whole world in and of itself, around 1915, 16, 17, 18, wasn't global. You could get anywhere. It would take a month or so, maybe even longer, to travel between two continents. But the fact remains is that this virus has all the hallmarks of something crazy. What does this virus do? Well, it attacks your lungs, like a upper respiratory sort of infection, okay? But it also makes you feel like crap. It has like flu-like symptoms, okay? So it disguises itself sort of something like that. But if you have a pre-existing condition, it wipes you out. I've had family members who've gotten this, and they either went from didn't really affect them to they got pneumonia. They didn't almost die. They just got pneumonia. They felt sick or whatever. But that's what's interesting about this virus. It almost seems like it targets people with pre-existing conditions. Maybe that's just a side effect of that, or not. But it just seems interesting that it attacks the weak, mostly. Now, that would make sense for most viruses, where once they attack the body, if you're already in a weakened position, it would affect you negatively. But we also know that this also affects people who are healthy for some reason, and it kills them, or it really messes them up. But that's not necessarily unlike the flu virus. But this virus is way different, because once you get the flu, within days, you're freaking, wiped out, and you just feel like crap. But this one, you can be asymptomatic for a while until the virus presents itself, then it wipes you out. But I don't know. Again, these are just theories. It's just me talking. Consult your doctor. I'm not telling you what you can and can't do, what you should or shouldn't do. But I'm just saying that this whole thing, you can't talk about it because, the World Health Organization, the CDC, stated this, but they've been in the pocket for the Chinese communists. Ah, and there you go. They are in the pocket for the Chinese communists. Hollywood is in the pocket of the Chinese communists. Facebook, Google, Twitter, all these big tech platforms, mostly not small tech that I know so far, like Odyssey and BitChute and Rumble. Other than them, all the big tech platforms are tied to China in some way, where they're told, you can't say this or you can't do business with us. And of course, the almighty dollar pops up, and they don't want to do business. And that's what you should take away from all this, folks. When Facebook says, now you can talk about the lab leak theory. Oh, thank you, there, Mark Zuckerberg. Thank you. But why now? Well, the cat's already out of the bag. We knew about this since it started. The lab leak theory? Where did it present itself? Wuhan. What's in Wuhan? The Wuhan Virology Institute. And so you got to understand all this going on. You couldn't talk about it. Now you can talk about it. Why now? Cat's already out of the bag. They can't deny what's the abject truth that's out there. I don't know. That's just one Laszlo's, thought process here. Just thinking about it. And that's the problem, is that why can't we think about it? Why can't we express our, feelings about this, or discuss the nuances of this virus, the nuances of how it started? Why does big tech platforms get to create the park or the public square and to deny you access to it? That doesn't seem fair to me. It doesn't seem very American. It seems very, dare I say, Chinese communist.